Hi, welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. So I was going through my channel the other day, linking similar videos together and creating playlists. And I noticed I had quite a few Slingshot videos all put together. But the one thing I did not have is bushcrafting a slingshot from start to finish in the field. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So in my bag I've got a set of flat bands. We're going to be finding a natural fork, and we're going to be sawing the fork, prepping the fork, and making a flat band natural fork slingshot in the field. So first thing to do is I have to find a frame. So I've been wandering around the woods here a little bit looking for a suitable Y fork. Now I went through, I had a fork hunt video. I actually have dried forks that I saw and keep back at the house. But in this situation, I wanted to come into the woods, just my bands. All of a sudden I need some slingshot, need to make a slingshot, and I get it done. So same criteria applies. I don't always have to find a perfect Y. You know, the Y can be offset one way or the other. I can make it work. But I'm looking for seasoned wood if I can get it. If I have a green branch, you know, something like this, it's obviously not going to be as strong. Now I don't have the advantage of picking anything and letting it sit and dry on a firewood pile. So I'm looking for a dead tree that's not rotten at all. So I want full strength but with very little moisture in it. So behind me I happen to find a treetop that blown down. So hopefully being in the woods today will calm this wind down a little bit. It's definitely too windy to film out in the field today. So like I said, I have a maple that blew down behind me. It still has some leaves on it. You know, they're starting to die because this thing's been down for quite a while. Obviously maybe midsummer, I would say. So it's had a couple months down. When I get into the fork and cut it, if I see any flecks, I might find a different donor, but for right now I think I'm going to find a fork in this treetop. Now I could have saved myself a lot of trouble. Surrounding this top is poison ivy. So generally speaking, whenever I'm looking for something in the woods, all I have to do is find the biggest poison ivy patch, climb right into the middle of it, and that's it. Now I'm sure there are no suitable slingshot forks in this entire woodland area that is not surrounded by poison ivy with my luck. So I'm just going to dive into it and get it done. So this down maple top has a lot of different good forks on it already. The one I'm going to select, because I don't have a real powerful set of bands with me today, is going to be right here. It's going to be a little bit smaller than thumb thick when I'm done with it. But the bands I have aren't real powerful, like I said, so it should be just fine. So I'm going to cut it out of here. And like I said, this is, I've got poison ivy right down all around it, so wish me luck. So this is kind of being an offset. I'm going to probably set it up this way. So you got to kind of orientate the Y. You know, this way it doesn't work for me as well as this way. I usually want my forks about 4 inches apart. So I go about 4 inches, and I'm going to call that good. So right now I'm just going to take my knife, and I'm just going to dress up these saw cuts a little bit. This is going to be an over-the-top flat band slingshot, so the bands are going to be in contact with this wood. So if I don't take my time and deburr this now, the bands are going to probably rip after just a few shots. Still a lot of moisture in this. You can see how green the bark is when it comes off. Now peeling the bark is not necessary, but this one here's got some nasty knots on it. So if I had a nice smooth fork, I might not mess with it. But in this case, these knots are going to have to come off. And I just don't think it would look right. Some of it's skinned and some of it not. Okay, so I'm kind of seeing how it's going to fit in my hand right now. I'm going to go ahead and saw this off. This isn't doing me any good. I'm going to cut it right about here. That'll make it a lot more compact. Okay. Looks like this bottom fork is just a little bit longer. I'm going to go ahead and trim it. Okay, let's camphor that end real quick. Okay, now I'm going to come down, oh, maybe a ½ inch, maybe 3/8. Go ahead and score that with my thumb. Just going to carve a real shallow groove. I'm going to tie the band on with another rubber band, so this is going to give that band something to bite into. Okay, so about like that. That's what I'm after. I'm going to match up the grooves, score it. Now if I had a rasp, this would probably be a little bit easier. I could also, if the fork was maybe just a little bit bigger or my saw was a little bit smaller, use a saw and make a saw curve and then just clean the edges out with my knife. But this works too. There we go. So here's going to be this is the target side of the Slingshot. I'm going to go ahead and just make sure I don't feel any rough edges. Okay, so a little stubby natural fork Slingshot here. Now I'm ready for my bands. So much room to work here in this thicket that I'm in. Alright, so the principal players here, now that we've got our frame, is I've got a set of black latex bands, and this is like a small tie with the same material. It's, I don't know, 5 inches maybe, 5-6 inch piece. So this is the front of the Slingshot. So the bands are going to come over the top. Now I'm going to set my distance. I want about 6 inches. So just to do that in the field, I'm going to hold the pouch in the palm of my hand, right at the edge of my hand, and I'm just going to give it my thumb. So I'm going to use this, that way I've got a consistent way to measure both sides. Now looking at that, that looks about 6 inches. I'm going to give it just a little bit more. So something like that. I'll kind of give you an over-the-shoulder shot of what I'm doing. So I've got that groove under my thumb right now, and I'm going to lay the tie right into the groove. I'm going to come over it once. Now I'm going to start really pulling it. 2. There's 3. Now I've got a little bit of bank line here. I'm just going to lay it in so I have a loop to pull through. So this could be any string. I just happen to have bank line with me. So I'm going to lay a line in here. Now I'm going to go over this line. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm around 3. I'm holding tension with my thumb. I'm going to go through the loop. And I'm going to pull this line. Pull it under. There we go. So that's the wrap and tuck. Now when I put the other side on, I want to make sure that I have no twist. So there is a knot on the outside of the pouch. So I want both knots facing outside. I want no twist in my bands. But now I've got this tail to help me measure up the other side. So I'm going to use this tail first as my indicator. Sorry, without a frame. So I've got this tail here, so I'm going to make sure these tails look approximately the same. I'm going to hold the pouch on the other end, make sure it looks approximately the same. I'm going to do the same wrap and tuck. One, 2, 3. Three around the string. Okay, my last one goes through the loop. There we go. So we're all set. I can feel a little bit of flex in the frame. But like I said, these are pretty mild bands. Now I can trim these up with my knife. I'll give myself a little tail. I could do the same to my pull tabs, but these longer pull tabs are going to let me adjust the bands if I need to, or I could change to a different set of bands and reuse this elastic tie. So I'm going to leave this on for right now. So I wanted to give you an unedited view of how long it takes approximately, to fabricate a slingshot in the woods. So to deal with that, you're gonna have to deal with my goofy camera angles and my you know, adjustments and zooms and all that kind of stuff. I do everyone a favor by editing this stuff out. You do not want to have to watch my videos unedited if you can help it. You know, there's a lot of crooked camera angles, over zooms, and silly things like that. So the first couple pulls, you're going to expect for something to break. Alright, so you're just going to pull it away from your face. And it's a pretty good habit to draw a slingshot anyway, away from your face, and then reach your anchor point. Usually, if a band snaps, it's going to snap on the first pull or as you're drawing it back and loading the band. So keeping it away from your face, then bringing it into your anchor point is a lot better way to do it. So we're all done here. I'm going to shut the camera off. I've got a target. I'm going to set it up and we'll, you know, see if this thing shoots. So I grabbed some ammo in my target and I stepped into a clearing in the lane. Let's see here. Alright, so you can see right here, I've got a white target set up. It's about 10 meters away, or 10 yards away, and I'm low on batteries here, so we're going to be shooting at it. Hopefully you can hear it ding here in just a second. That one just under it. Alright, so that's a natural fork slingshot. However long it took me, you know, I'll give you a time. When I checked the video, I wasn't really paying attention to it. But it's not that long a process, and I did a lot of extras. You know, I didn't need to debark the whole thing. Alright, so this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. Squirrel season's just around the corner. Get a set of bands, make yourself a slingshot, and have some fun. See you next time.